I was going to say, and that's true, I was going to say that sheep know that they're sheep. I think that is the strength of sheep. Sheep know that they're sheep. Sheep know that they need a shepherd. Sheep know that they're vulnerable. Sheep know that they need help. They know that they need feeding. They know that they need a shepherd. And that shepherd calls for them, and he knows them by name. They know the shepherd's voice, and they go running. For all of our vulnerabilities, for our insecurities, for our failures, for our flops, we need to remember we're sheep and we're not God. And we're strong when we realize we're sheep. We're strong when we realize we need a shepherd who's always going to be there for us, that shepherd who's always going to love on us. One quick story, then we'll go into verse 6. There was an American journalist that got assigned to learn more about shepherds for a newspaper piece. So pretty sweet assignment, got flown over to the Middle East and to hang out with shepherds for a week and just kind of study them and the culture and everything that was there. And so there was this one sheep that wandered off and fell off this cliff, but didn't like fall all the way down to its death, like 8-ish feet down or so. There was this little outcropping, and the sheep landed there, but couldn't jump up. And there was this little outcropping, and then the long 30, 40, 50, whatever foot fall to its death. And so the shepherd hears the cries and goes over to the sheep, kind of peeks over the side and sees where the sheep is and screaming and vulnerable and scared. And the shepherd backs up about 15 feet and sits down. Sits there. And the American journalist is watching this going, do your job, man. Go get the sheep, right? And he just sits there. And eventually curiosity caused the American journalist to ask the interpreter, and the interpreter asked the shepherd, like, man, what are you doing? Why didn't you get in the sheep? And the shepherd said back to the interpreter, that sheep is so scared right now and so out of its mind. If I go down there and try to rescue it, it will fall to its death. I can't save it right now because of how bad of a spot it's put itself. It's going to hurt itself worse. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here 15 feet away so it can't even smell me right now, because then I'll get it going crazy too. And so I'm going to sit here, and the predators can hear the howling and crying out of this sheep right now, and I'm going to keep all the predators away so that sheep is safe. Even though it feels very vulnerable, it's going to be safe, and I'm going to wait until that sheep is so exhausted in its peril that I can go rescue it and keep it safe. Because if I go now, it's not going to work. And how often in our lives do we charge God with forgetting us or treating us in a foul way, that God is nowhere present? And here he is holding back the ultimate peril of the wolf, that great prowling lion. And he's letting us sometimes learn the hard way where we are so that we realize we're sheep and we need a shepherd. And he does rescue, and he does intervene, and he does restore, because he loves you. I pray that you remember that analogy and that truth of who God is. And sometimes he's waiting for that perfect time, the right time, but there is a time, and it's a plan set time to rescue, because that's what God does as your good shepherd.